Today is October 18th, 2012. It's been about half a year since Maggie right here, the boxer, got ran over by a good-sized truck, and if I can get close to her, you can still see she's gonna have a permanent scar down the side of her leg, and but she has one major problem on top of that. So there's the obvious scar where they had to it was like where she had her impact wound from whatever on the truck hit her. And they she had like reconstructive surgery where they went in and put some kind of combination of rods and pins and screws. But the main thing that was wrong with her was when she got hit, it fractured her hip joint, where the hip connects into, so bad that like that was fractured, and then the end of her hip was like I believe I was told it was like rubbed off or rounded off or something like that. So, but I believe it was because of the fracture in the actual socket. They weren't able to reconnect her leg that way, so they went ahead and I was told by my stepdad Bob that they just tied some muscles together, wrapped them around each other, and I imagine maybe there's some other things involved like tendons or ligaments. I really don't know anatomy that well. But I was going to give an example of how much she's come along so far if you saw her initial videos after she had surgery. For months and months she had trouble walking. We had this like sling with two handles that like wrap around the underside of her belly, and we'd have to put that under her and then lift up. It would like connect to the front side underneath her belly, the front side of her back legs, and we'd have to like lift it up, and she'd have to walk on her two front legs for like months and months, anytime we took her out, and to give her, that leg time to heal. Now she still limps a lot, and her muscles are still growing back, and she'll never be able to, according to my stepdad, she'll never be able to walk normal because of the fact that she technically doesn't have a hip. She just has those muscles tied up. But despite that, he was having her run around, so I'll go ahead and do the same thing, give a demonstration of how far she's come. You ready, Maggie? Oh, you want the rope? You want the rope? As you can see, she can run decent for being very off balance from that leg. It's kind of sad though that before she got ran over, she on one of these hills somewhere, one of my youngest nephew out of all people, the lightest nephew out of all three, went during the winter time, slid and landed on top of her when she was still growing up as a puppy. She was like a decent puppy size. She wasn't tiny, but he landed on her. Wow, there she goes. My nephew Joey landed on her and broke her like front right paw. So it's sad that she has she broke like both legs on both sides, one after the other. like she still had a tiny fracture left in her front right paw, but we started letting her run around the yard, and like before she got ran over by the truck, she, despite going through months of recovery for the first broken leg, I remember for like 4 days I was out here. It was so exciting to see her, her like boxer ability come out. She'd run like about twice as fast as she just did, and she like goes zooming around, either way, and nothing like a cheetah or like a greyhound, but that's kind of like what it reminded me of. See how much intensity she puts into her running. So yeah, she just fell over because she's not able to balance herself. But my stepdad's been roughhousing with her and letting her run. I haven't been coming out here a lot lately. Been staying in my apartment. Every time my old best friend Chris calls me, he's silly. He always says, "Are you staying at your parents, or where are you living now?" And like, I have to tell him like over and over and over again, like, dude, I'm still at the same apartment that I've told you about like 5 to 6 times now that I've had since the beginning of the year. Yeah, since I haven't been here in a while, I just know a little bit of information about Maggie Dog through my parents, about how far she's came in recovery. I mean, it's possible my parents could be making the same mistake as last time. Last time when her front leg was healing, she wasn't supposed to, they were letting her sleep on her bed like they used to always do. She doesn't anymore, but it's a high sitting bed, and she would have to jump down from it, and it made her fracture in her front leg harder to heal. It might have actually started to refracture. So honestly, no idea if it's okay for her to be running around like she was, but I trust my stepdad's judgment on that. I hate calling. I was about to say it's their dog. I hate using that terminology because I think that animals are a lot more, or technically equal to us. They might not have the brain size that we do, but it's not an excuse to treat them any less. There she goes. But yeah, they've unfortunately out of all of the family members that do come over here, I was the one in charge the morning that she got hit. Everyone had left, and I was frustrated. I went to bed late, and then my mom could have just, instead of letting Maggie out and let her run around the house, our living room was set up a little bit different back then. The couch, this couch was pretty much here. It was back, and I was the day she got hit, I was sleeping on the couch, and she has a cage like this, but it's bigger, but she uses this other one now. It was over here, and my mom just stuck her and Toby in their cages, and then walked away and went out the door to go to work. And she knew that the second she stuck Maggie in the cage, she was gonna start barking and whining to get out. So I was dead tired and frustrated, and have my anxiety problems and my withdrawal symptoms from being on my medication class too long. And I'd normally, if I go out, Toby likes to wander off. Maggie, when she was young, even though she had a crazy amount of energy, she liked to stay near you. So like, typically if I went out, I would always go out with the dogs and make sure, give them the freedom of not being on a leash, but make sure that they didn't run away. Kind of lucky Toby didn't take off on me just now. Guess he's still got his interest, so he's staying by the house. But yeah, I was tired and I just let him out. And then I went back inside and sat on that same couch. I wasn't laying down, but I was like sitting down, laying back, just like resting my eyes. And I didn't fall asleep, but I was dead tired. I think I waited like 10 or 15 minutes before I checked on him again. Oh yeah, then my sister's little Chihuahua mix was here also. I let all three of them out, and her name's Sophie. Sophie usually, she's like really nervous because of her breed and her size, and she, a lot of times it can be trusted to at least stay in the vicinity of this place. Sometimes she'll run around front, but she'll usually come running back. Like if he makes it up the driveway, you might never see him again. Yeah. And then, long story short, came to the door. Toby was at the front door when I was inside. He was like looking up at me like with like the worst look of terror on his face. Like I could tell instantly like something bad happened. And then I let him in, and he was like, he looked all worried. And then Sophie came running around the corner of the house, and I surveyed the yard, and I'm like, where the heck is Maggie? Like, and right away I knew, I just had this feeling that something bad happened because she, like I was saying, she like never ran off. She always stood near the house. Even if you didn't go out with her, she would stay by. Well, especially now that she's been hit by a truck, she has a really nervous side to her. She's starting to get over it though, but a lot of noises will make her jump inside the house. Spook the heck out of her. So yeah, I remember I either like looked back in the house or maybe I was looking to the right. Whatever I was doing, I remember I looked back right here, and then here came Maggie, like limping trotting down the hill on three legs, and you could tell when she got like in front of the pool that she had a huge amount of flesh open on her right leg, and I knew that she'd either been shot by someone or hit by a car. And then like the last thing later up there on like that fence, I thought maybe she got caught up in some barbed wire. But supposedly she went like that way, and then there's like the road like goes down in a valley, then goes up, and there's another valley, and then it goes up again. So like there's two major traps for dogs to get hit by cars, and supposedly she was at that one. Even though later on, me and my stepdad, later that day, we walked out front and we saw skid marks over here, and then we saw like dually truck tire marks in the grass that kicked up like the mud from earlier in the morning. So it just that was either a huge coincidence or the wreck actually happened over there. But supposedly, um, I think my mom or our neighbor said the guy that actually hit her like came back to see if she's okay, and he said that it actually happened on that valley. But either way, she's gotta live with it the rest of her life, sadly. And I feel really bad that I happen to be the one that let him out. I mean, they don't get put on leashes. We don't have a fenced-in yard, so probability was one of the dogs were gonna run away or get hit one day anyways. But just felt really bad that I was the one that had to directly experience that. Know that I was the one to open the door. So, but besides all that sadness, Maggie's getting happier. She's going through tons of physical therapy to get as far as she's gotten, and she'll continue to get better. She just won't be able. I'm praying that she can miraculously just run around like she's meant to, but supposedly it's impossible because of the way they had to reattach her hip with her muscles. So she just doesn't have that bone support. But maybe if another thing we could do is if we ever struck it rich, is to give her another surgery and give her a really expensive artificial hip. If it's even possible. But I don't even know what the lifespan on boxes are, and she's already gone through two recoveries, still going through this one, so she'd probably be so depressed, be so hard on her if she ever had to go through another one. But here's hoping that she keeps on improving.